was David Oyelowo specifically, but as a kid, I grew up in Fort Worth, Texas, and I heard stories about Bass Reeves as a kid, and they were always akin to sort of this gunslinging lawman pursuing the most hardened criminals in the Wild West, and that sort of mythology implanted itself in my conscience. And then, over the years, I would take interest whether, Watchmen recently paid homage to Bass, or Texas Monthly did a big spread on him a few years ago. And Taylor and I had been sort of orbiting in the same circle for a while, and he recommended me to David. And David's been trying to make this project for 8 years and invited me to dinner. Over the course of that dinner, which lasted 4 hours, not only did I make a friend for life, but I was also enamored by what David had to tell me about Bass, about the things that I didn't know, and sort of felt compelled to be part of the legacy to honor Bass Reeves' life. He's the most dedicated craftsman I've ever been around. His commitment to his craft is astounding. His talent, I believe, is transcendent. And that can only be overshadowed by his persona. I mean, he is graceful and compassionate and passionate. And so it is the highlight of my career to this point, to find myself working with somebody that is that gifted in one breath, but also that giving in another. So I feel incredibly fortunate to have been a part of it and worked with him. I'm grateful because he gave me the freedom and the autonomy to craft this story and to, lead the production. Taylor has a gift for storytelling that, is something that I've never seen before, where, he would come in on a script that had been written, and he'd be like, what if you added this little moment here? And a suggestion like that would really make the script sing louder than it already sang. During production, he created this machine to make Yellowstone 1883, 1923, and allowed that machine to come to us, and was instrumental in that sort of handoff of putting this machine into place and using it to tell this story. And then in post, he's been back in there with that magical storytelling dust that he seems to never run out of, that has really influenced the edit in positive ways. I've always loved Shay on camera. I was so thankful that he was willing to take on such a difficult role. Barry was a delight to work with and did an excellent job. Lauren, I watched her audition and I said, who is this? She's going to be a superstar, who plays Jenny Reeves.
Right.
I had just seen Demi and King Richard when we cast her, and
oh yeah,
loved her performance in that, and loved her performance in this. There's no shortage. I was a kid of the '80s, so I grew up with Dennis Quaid and Donald Sutherland, and to get to work with the two of them was very surreal, obviously, and so I couldn't be more ecstatic about the cast that we assembled. I'm excited for the audience to see, a story about the lawman, the husband, the father, a story about the triumph of the human spirit, a story about the universality of the human condition. And I just ask that they please watch November 5th on Paramount Plus.